Hello, and welcome to the Street Aesthete channel. Today we're playing Geoguessr Battle Royale Distance. We're continuing a series of videos in which we play Battle Royale without moving, while our opponents have the advantage of being able to move around within the coverage to gain more clues. So, let's see what the first round has for us. Looks as though we're in Asia, and the script looks to me like perhaps Tamil, or maybe the script that we would see in Sri Lanka. I do think that's where we are, Nagoya, Lanka. So that's making sense for Sri Lanka. Any other clues for us here? Perhaps we'll get a city name, city oil centre. Have we even got an address there? King Street, Matale, maybe? Well, I think it's time to zoom in and see what we can find. Matale, not immediately jumping out to me. I suppose it's going to make most sense to go in one of the large cities, so perhaps what I'll do is I'll just kind of go between them, maybe edging a bit closer to Colombo and the coast. Let's try it. Okay, not a terrible guess. In third position so far, getting knocked down to fourth. We had someone guessing in Cambodia there by the looks of it, but everyone else getting Sri Lanka, and it turned out that Kandy would have been the better guess. I should mention that the last few times we've played, in fact the last 2 times that I've played on this channel, I've come in second place, so I'm really looking to break that streak with a victory this time. San Nicolas Calais, San Nicolas. I think that's Spanish, the calle, meaning street. Does it look like Spain? San Andres. Although there's something, I don't know, is perhaps Calais? Yeah, we seem to have 2 languages here, don't we? We've got Spanish, and then maybe, could that be Basque? Could we actually be over in this region, in Catalonia? I suppose that would maybe make sense. We'd be a little bit further inland from, say, Barcelona. It's not too mountainous, so I'm not going to put us too close to the Pyrenees. Let's try it out. Okay, not terrible. Let's find out where it was. Yeah, it looks like it was perhaps Basque dialect or the Basque language, but quite a bit further north there, just south of Bilbao. If you enjoy the music that you're hearing in this video, then take a look at my first channel, linked in the description, which is where I upload all of my original music. And here we are in what looks like Europe. No language clues there. Looking fairly flat, and are those apple trees we've got here. So not too southern. Actually, it's a little bit more hilly over there. And so I'm kind of thinking about France comes to mind, but also Czechia even. I could see, yeah, even a bit further east. It's a tricky round without being able to move around. Feels a little bit more eastern, so I'm going to go in Czechia. Yeah, looks like a good guess. Not too much to go off of here. But, I didn't mean to move, you'll have to forgive me, but I won't be changing my guess. This is, of course, a no-move challenge. Can we win the Battle Royale without moving? And yeah, in Eastern Czechia there, we had a few Poland guesses, a few Slovakia guesses, but no one else went for Czechia, interestingly. Okay, that we cannot read, which puts us at a big disadvantage, as the other players will be able to move around. But what can we see here? Looks kind of Slavic to me, but we've got kind of an accent on what I think is an A at the end there. So that makes me think of Slovakia, although again, Czechia may be a possibility here. We're certainly in the EU. If only we could read those. Yeah, I think that Slovakia is making sense here, but it's not extremely hilly, so I'm going to maybe not put us too far over to the east, maybe a little bit more kind of closer to Bratislava, near the Czech border. Let's try it out. Okay, not terrible. And we've survived the round, fortunately, because somebody guessed Serbia. And we were actually in eastern Slovakia. And funnily enough, I'm the only one who's got the right country there, which is interesting, even though the others were probably able to see the road signs. Okay, we're in Eastern Europe again. Looks like we've got Cyrillic over there, so that narrows things down for us. And we've got this kind of reddish blur on the car, so I'm definitely thinking about Ukraine here. And that would sort of make sense of this concrete A-frame pole that we can see. Equally though, could this be somewhere else? Could it be Serbia? Could it even be North Macedonia? No, I think I like Ukraine for this round, and I'm going to kind of basically just put it in the middle. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm still not completely safe because we've got a few more guesses to be made here, but I think the time is probably up, so we are safe. Let's see if it was Ukraine. Yes, it was, and we were in the town of, or the village of Pervomaisk. Not somewhere I've ever heard of, but yeah, kind of west of Kryvyi Rih. And here we are in, interestingly, we haven't had any southern hemisphere rounds yet. I was just wondering, but no. Looks like we could be again in the former Soviet Union. That certainly looks like Cyrillic. And would this be Russia or Ukraine? Again, is that a little bit of a reddish blur on the car? I don't know if there are any mountains like that in Ukraine, unless they are right over in the west. No, I don't think there are mountains in Ukraine. Apart from, of course, the Carpathians. So, is there any chance we're here? If not, we'd be out in Russia, and it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky indeed. I'm going to put a guess in there without much confidence, yeah, and we're way off, so we're likely to be just somewhere in the middle of Russia. I'm going to go outside of, we need to be in the mountains here outside of Yekaterinburg, and it looks like we're out. That is a great pity. We were on the southern shore of Lake Baikal there, I believe, or just outside of Irkutsk, and a great pity to have lost there. The streak of runner-up continues, and I don't want to take no for an answer. Let's go for another game in this video. Let's see if we can break our, well, it's not quite a losing streak, but our runner-up streak, and get the victory that I've been looking for. I won't beat myself up too much, of course, not being able to win that last game, because we weren't able to move around in the coverage, which our opponent would have done. And I think had I been able to move around and find some text, I probably would have been able to discern between Ukrainian and Russian language. So, now, trying to spot the sun to figure out where we are. Yeah, it does look like we're in the northern hemisphere after all. And I'm thinking about the Mediterranean, thinking about Greece, but also Spain. I think probably, although even Mexico comes to mind here. I think Mexico comes to mind a bit more, but I'm truly not convinced of it. To see these olive plantations, surely we're in Europe. No, I'm going to go with my first idea, which was Greece. And it looks like it was probably the right call. At least the right continent. Mexico. Certainly not the right idea. Although I wasn't the only one who had it. And we were actually on the heel of the boot of Italy there. Not too far from Brindisi. Between Brindisi and Taranto. Looking like perhaps India. Gosh, look at the state of that. but the coverage doesn't quite look bad enough for India in terms of the camera quality. So, and I think we've actually got the Bangladeshi script over there. So we're in probably quite a populous part of the country with all that refuse. So I'm going to put us kind of outskirts of Dakar. Not sure what the right pronunciation of that is. I probably said it in the same way as I said the Senegalese capital, Dakar. But yeah, I think we're probably in the running with that. Okay, right country. And indeed we were on the outskirts of Dakar, but more over to the northwest there. What does the next round hold in store for us? Oh no, I've moved. You know what? I'll just move straight back. Fitchett Street. Thinking about New Zealand here. Definitely thinking about New Zealand. Puri Street. Yeah. New Zealand makes sense, although I suppose Australia is possible, but you tend not to see any yellow road lines in Australia, I don't think. Could be wrong, of course, but yeah. I think I'm going to have to go for New Zealand, and probably on the South Island, kind of somewhere on the outskirts of Christchurch, perhaps. Yeah, we could equally be maybe a little bit further south. We could be more sort of in the Dunedin area, Gore, Invercargill. I could see any of those places working. Although this does look a little bit more kind of subtropical, and it gets a bit chilly down there right in the south. So let's see. No, North Island, and we were in Palmerston North, and amazingly, actually, just almost right in the centre. It was just looking so kind of desolate and empty there. You wouldn't have thought we were right in the middle of one of the bigger towns on the island. Okay, can't quite make that out, but I think we're in South America. Thinking about Colombia, also about Ecuador. Let's see. So we've got this kind of. Oh, is that E24? Is that what that is? And you get the E roads in Ecuador. So yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? E24, maybe. E20. We've got an E25 there. Could be E25. Can we see a 24 anywhere? Well, if there's a 25, there probably is a 24, but I'm not seeing it at the moment. So we are kind of in the mountains here, so yeah, that feels about right. Not a brilliant guess. We could well be further south. But I think we're probably, wow, yeah, a lot further south in the country, and it was the E25. So, right country, right road, wrong region. And we are gradually starting to whittle our opponents down here. We're down to 6. And this is Europe again. Looking like Denmark, perhaps. Gustav Dalens, Vag. Yeah, is this possibly Sweden, though? Sweden or Denmark, I would say. And I think the long, low buildings are quite characteristic of Danish architecture. Sort of like the modern equivalent of the Viking long halls, is the way I think about it. And do I think we're on an island here or on Jutland? Well, I think that Jutland is generally quite flat, apart from in a few places. So I'd say we're probably on one of the islands here. And I've got a good feeling about this island, about Finn. And let's just go in the suburbs of Odense. See how that works for us. Okay, we're just not coming through with the brilliant guesses this game, unfortunately. And it was Gothenburg, or the outskirts thereof, in Sweden. So yeah, wrong country there. But of course, going by the architecture, if I think of the Danish, or rather the Viking long hall, you could just as easily see something like that in Sweden, I suppose. Okay, these dashed white lines down kind of a leafy, tree-lined avenue. Thinking of a few places, I think France is a possibility. And it's very flat here actually, so I could even see the lowlands. Could see Belgium, probably not the Netherlands. Luxembourg also a possibility, but then I'm also actually thinking of Poland with a tree-lined avenue like this. I think on the whole I'm leaning more towards the lowlands. And let's see if we can spot the copyright actually. Not used copyright much. 2017 probably rules out Luxembourg. So yeah, I'm going to put one in France near Belgium. And I'm also going to get one in Poland ready, just in case we need it. It looks like we're not going to. I'm not going to waste the guess at this point. I like to hang on to my guesses. And we were... we were in the lowlands, but we were in the Netherlands. Very close to the German border there. So on the whole, not a terrible guess. Canada, especially that very kind of rural part of Ontario, not looking likely. But anyway, we shan't judge our opponents' guesses too harshly. Looks like we are in perhaps Germany, but more kind of alpine looking, I would say. So Switzerland or Austria certainly come to mind here. Have we got the characteristic low cam that would say Switzerland to us? I don't think we do. So I think Austria is probably the most likely here. It's hilly but not mountainous, so maybe if we go kind of near the German border. Let's try it out. Could indeed be Germany, as a matter of fact. But we are very close with the next closest guess, so let's watch the others come in and maybe we'll get something ready over here in case we need it in Switzerland. But no, we didn't need it, and it was actually Czechia. Very Germanic looking architecture there, but of course we were right by the German border, sort of in the general environs of Dresden. I think that's the Bengali script again. So back to Bangladesh we go. Interesting, the roof rack. I didn't know that turned up in Bangladesh. And I mean, it is looking relatively built up, isn't it? We've got a north to south road. Let's see if we can spot something like that in Dakar. Could maybe see that working. Does it look like we might be near a hospital? Not really a country I'm familiar with, so we could be for that matter. Let's try it. Okay. So not terrible, but not great either. Maybe we'd have to be in, well, not necessarily a big town. Oh, okay, Chittagong. So that means, yeah, we are still in Bangladesh, aren't we? Yeah. This is a kind of an offshoot of the rest of the country. And then you've got Eastern India to the east. Okay, in Europe again. I'm always pleased to see Europe because I do like using the architecture and any language available as clues to work out where we are. But that pole with these indented segments in it, you see in only a few countries, one of them being France, which is indeed where I think we are. And the architecture is looking actually quite Irish to me. So is it possible that we are in the kind of Celtic influenced part of the country, Brittany? Could see that working. It's certainly flat enough if we go kind of outside of Rennes. But it's looking very remote, isn't it? So even like a bit further west. Let's try that out. Yeah, quite happy with the guess actually. I think it's all making sense. Oh, fantastic! I won. I didn't even clock actually that was the final round. So if you noticed and you were paying attention, well done, congratulations. Yeah, really pleased with that. It was indeed Brittany, not too far outside of Caen. And you know what? I think what we're going to do, just to make sure that it wasn't a fluke, is we're going to play again straight away and see if we can consolidate our victory with another one. I'm going to skip through this bit so we get to the game a bit quicker. Okay, game on. The no move challenge continues. Can we make it 2 victories in a row? And our first round sees us in the Americas, I think. No, certainly not. We are in an Arabic-speaking country, and in fact, I should have got this straight away. We can see the kind of brownish-green Mazda following us, which means there's only one country we can be in, and that is Tunisia. Whereabouts in Tunisia is another matter. I suppose I'm just going to kind of put us roughly in the middle of Tunis and Sfax on the outskirts of Sousse. Yeah, maybe Sousse. We'll go for Sousse. Okay, and it's the top guess. It's a great way to start our second game. Well, our third game, rather. The first game after our victory, but I was going to say our second victorious game, but I'm being presumptuous there. And I wonder how many of our opponents got it. Okay, we've got 2 others who guessed the capital. Makes good sense. And so those 2 are going to be the ones to watch. They're our contenders. So we've got, let's see who they are. Foggy Summit, and I didn't quite pick up who the other was. Wow, we've got monkeys on the bridge. And where would we be? This is going to be seriously tricky, I think. We've got so little to go off of here. Okay, well, we know that there are monkeys here. I thought of India, but this doesn't look like Indian coverage to me. 2024? No, 2014. Oh, I just don't know where we'd see 2014 coverage. I think Sri Lanka is possible, but I don't love it. It's not great. Okay, let's put ourselves maybe near Bangladesh. I'm really flailing here. No, surely we must be in Southeast Asia. Oh, Hong Kong. Didn't even cross my mind. We were in the Kam Shan Country Park there. Did anyone else get Hong Kong? No, we had a few Taiwans, a few Chinas. Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. Okay, I think that's Japanese road signage, and it's the 275. So, can we see the 275 anywhere? You've got to get really zoomed in very far to start seeing the roads, unfortunately, so it doesn't bode well for us being able to find it. Alright, let's not use that as our method. Let's try and work out roughly where we think we are from what we can actually see. It looks quite northern, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if this were the island of Hokkaido, but I'm going to stay on the mainland, rather on Honshu. And it's a great guess. I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see where everyone else has gone, but it's the best guess of the bunch so far. And we were on Hokkaido, right up about as far north as you can get. Not too far from Sakhalin. You know, we're so far north in Japan, we're practically in Russia. Okay, in Europe, back on the home turf. Lovely rolling landscape, just beautiful. The hay bales. It's a beautiful pastoral scene. Countries that come to mind are France. Germany comes to mind, but we've got 2022 coverage, so we can rule that out, because all the Germany coverage is 23. So I'm kind of between Czechia and France. And of the two, I think I like France more. It was my first thought, so I'm going to go with it. And it's looking good. Yeah, I'm kind of finding my stride now. Third game in, and starting to make some decent guesses. And And it was in fact Luxembourg, believe it or not. Yeah, right sort of region, I suppose, Western Europe at least. It could even have been a scene in my home country, but I knew it wasn't. Couldn't quite explain to you why, but the landscape wasn't right. Okay, we're driving on the left here, and we could be in India, but I don't think we are. I think we are probably in... Is this Bangladesh again? Looks like it from the script. Yeah, I think Bangladesh is going to be the play here, and we've probably got to go in Dhaka again. I'm kind of going further north because, yeah, I suppose we'd see a bit more kind of lushness around the basin here, and away from the water, maybe a little bit more, although it's a very waterlogged sort of a country, many rivers there. So yeah, just looking a little bit more kind of wide and open, which is why actually maybe right down here at the delta would make the most sense, as a matter of fact. But we've got the top guess anyway, so let's see exactly where we were. And we were, yeah, quite a bit further south. Yeah, where the river is really wide here. We must be right in the valley. And we were in Naudoba. Very red soil here. Driving on the right. Just going to check we haven't got the roof rack. But I'm definitely thinking about West Africa. So Ghana is ruled out without the roof rack. And Nigeria certainly comes to mind, but I just wonder if we might not be... Yeah, no, we definitely are driving on the right. I wondered if he might be overtaking and we're actually driving on the left, because I was sort of thinking about Kenya. But no, I think Nigeria is the one to go for here, and I'm going to kind of go, yeah, like in the middle of the south of the country. Not great. Okay, let's rethink. Let's actually go over to Kenya. Ooh, could it possibly be Rwanda? That would make sense of driving on the right. Let's try it. Still not great. Still a long way behind. So, where have I gone wrong here? Could this be Brazil? No, wow, okay. It was Cambodia. I don't know why I was quite so sure that it was going to be Africa. I don't really... The car alarm. Hopefully you can't hear that. I don't really think I deserve to have got through on that round, to be honest. But anyway, here's a very typically Norwegian scene. The long dashed markings on the road, and the fantastic mountains, and this could well be a fjord, I would say. So let's put ourselves... Ooh, it feels very kind of bare on the mountains, doesn't it? So that makes me think a lot further north. Don't want to go too much further north, but yeah, Moirana, somewhere kind of around here. Let's try it out. Great, another good guess. We need one after that last round, which I'm a bit embarrassed about, to be honest. We've had two fairly catastrophic rounds in this game, haven't we? We had, I was guessing in, flailing about in India and Bangladesh when it turned out to be Hong Kong. And wow, look, right up in the north there. Pretty much as far north as you can get in continental Europe. Well, do we count Scandinavia as part of continental Europe? Perhaps not. Yeah, and then the other round that really went wrong was guessing in West Africa when we had Cambodia. And what's going on with the weird colours and the exposure here? Anyway, where are we going to be? The sun might come in handy on this occasion. I think we see it there. Seems to be in the south, which would put us northern hemisphere, but then again, I'm not sure that isn't the sun over there, so it's a tricky one. I'm thinking about South America, but also South Africa. I think with the red soil, South America is more likely. Maybe Brazil, but also maybe Colombia. So we need somewhere that's going to be very mountainous where there's red soil, so maybe right down here. Okay, right, so not a great guess, and it was actually Bolivia, not too far outside of Santa Cruz de la Sierra. And this is the final. This is going to be the final round. Yeah, let's see if we can consolidate our victory. Oh, and it's just the sort of thing I don't want to see. There are no clues here for me in terms of things to read, so we've got to go off. The roof rack. Meta clues will save us on this occasion. So, it's surely got to be Ghana, and I don't want to go too far north, but yeah, we should be getting guesses in. Let's maybe have one closer to Accra as well, and we'll see where we stand before I put in a final guess, but I'm thinking about maybe out here, and I'm also thinking even how much further north can we go. Okay, it's good, it's looking good. It looks like our opponent hasn't worked out that it's Ghana, because we are over 3,000 kilometers better off. Okay, let's put one more in. To cover our bases, let's go further north. That's all 3 guesses used. Now it's in the hands of fate. And indeed, it was. Ooh, yeah, it was a good change up at the end there. Right up in the north, the northwest of Ghana. That's probably about as far north as you can get before you start getting into desert coverage. And our opponent goes for Tanzania, which, as far as I know, is not a country that has Street View coverage, or if it does, it never shows up in Geoguessr. So, with that, we can declare our runner-up streak over. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Since you've made it this far, why not subscribe? I'll be playing more Geoguessr in future, including some duels. I've got to the Master 2 division, so you'll be able to see me struggling through that. And take a look at some of my other channel content where I explore street view coverage of noteworthy locations, looking out for beautiful architecture, and take a look at my first channel where I upload all of my original music.